They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Hello and welcome to the Farmer's Kitchen. We're the farmers, and this is our kitchen, and we're hungry.
That's right, starving.
You know what? We were cooking some beans the other day, and I just happened to snap a picture of it and put it on social media, and I couldn't believe the amount of reactions we got. But you know, real good beans to me, they have to be cooked for what?
Long time.
A long time.
Long time.
We've got a wood stove sitting over there, and some of the best beans years and years ago. You remember?
Yes.
The power was out, and it was super cold out.
I remember
But we
that.
set them on that stove, and they simmered, and they simmered, and they simmered, and they simmered. When you eat soup beans, a lot of people will go to get the consistency right by taking an immersion blender and
Right.
kind of grinding some of those beans up. Some people will take a potato masher, but nothing cooks those beans just right by letting them cook and cook and cook. So I was amazed at the amount of people who said, how do you get your beans right? So you know what? We've done Instapot beans.
We have.
We've canned beans. We've done bean with bacon. Tonight, we're going to do our traditional, old-fashioned. It takes a while,
It does.
but it's not hard. I mean, it's stuff you do the night before.
And you get to smell it cook for a day. It's wonderful.
There's nothing like
That's
it.
right.
So we're going to go step by step, and a lot of people do this, and a lot of people may do this exactly like we do it, but this is the old-fashioned way, which I learned from my mother. This is how we do it. This is how you get that bean.
That's right.
That's just
The
perfect.
perfect bean.
The way to get this started, now we took some pictures because this was yesterday,
Right.
last night.
Yes.
Take your beans, put about 1 inch of water over top of them, boil them till it comes to a boil, turn the heat off, put the top on, and let them set.
How long did you let those sit? About 6 hours?
6-8 hours,
Yeah.
at least overnight. So what does that do? That gets that start on those beans swelling up, taking that moisture on, and that's the beginning. Oh, before we do that, let's get the cornbread out, because you can't have beans without cornbread.
That's right.
I want you to take a look at this. Years ago, I was bear hunting in Canada, and there's a fellow there that made this particular cornbread, and he had onions, and guess what?
The jalapeno peppers.
And the thing about that is you don't even like hot stuff.
I don't, but I like
But
this.
the taste,
It's delicious.
because those are mild jalapenos, pickled jalapenos. Now you can add a little bit of canned corn if you want to, or creamed corn. Some people do. We didn't on this batch. How many of you out there take your beans and your cornbread and you mash up your cornbread and put it? You still have
That's
a
right.
piece of cornbread beside you with a piece of butter on it, but you smash it up in there.
The second and third bowl.
Look at all the people with their hands
That's
up.
right.
Up
The
there.
second or third bowl is where you start crunching. By the fourth bowl,
Oh, look at that though. Look how beautiful that is.
that is beautiful, I must say.
Something else we're going to do tonight, we're going to make some greens, because you got to have greens. This,
Right.
To me, this is the perfect country meal. We're going to really concentrate on these 3 things tonight. They're so simple, so good, but tonight we want to make sure we get the beans and the greens
That's right.
perfecto.
That's right.
So the beans, as you can see, have absorbed all that liquid for the most part.
They're about double the size, aren't they?
They've swollen up, and look.
No water.
No, hardly any water in here. And what we're going to do, we're going to take these over to the sink, and we're going to rinse some of these hides off of here, and we're going to rinse those real good, and then we'll show you how to make the perfect
Perfect beans.
soup beans. Here's our beautiful beans.
Ready?
Here's the beginning. This is 2 pounds of the white beans. And what we're going to do, we're going to take enough. This is already some flavor going here, folks. Not just old water. This is chicken broth.
Yummy.
Now, we've got low sodium chicken broth,
That's right.
which adds that depth of flavor
Oh, yes.
and that little bit of fat. No cholesterol. Look at this. We're getting started here. And plus, it gives you that nice, as it cooks up, you get more of a red color.
Right.
Now, you can also put some chicken bouillon in there. Here's what we're talking about. If you see a chicken bouillon cube, sometimes it say, okay, that's 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Well, you think about that though. This is 2 pounds. So if you're doing 15 bowls of soup,
Right, that's not too bad.
it's not as bad. Like sometimes you'll have a cup of sugar in a recipe or 2 cups. Well, you think about that. There's 27 pieces in there, and if you eat a little slice,
So it's perfect for you.
it's
Yeah, that's
not
good. That's right.
terrible. So let's do our math like that.
That's right. I like
We
how
can
you do your
justify
math.
just about anything.
justify it. That's right.
So we have a bouillon cube here.
You want the whole thing of this, or?
I think let's do the whole thing. We
All right.
checked on this. This is a little lower sodium. We're going to break that up in there. The next thing we're going to add is our all-purpose seasoning. This one here I've thrown together. Basically, it has equal parts garlic, onion powder, celery seed, salt, and pepper.
Perfect.
Italian cherry pepper.
Perfect.
So that in itself, celery seed to me is an important flavor in beans. And so we're going to take as much as we think we need of that.
You probably take a lot, won't you?
I'm going to go ahead and do
Season
it pretty
it
good. And when I use salt, I use some of the healthier salts that have the minerals in them that our body needs. All right, now the next important thing on the front end and the back end for depth of flavor is a good yellow sweet onion.
That's right.
And we're going to go ahead and assist these in cooking by chopping them up very fine. When you have the salty and all those flavors coming in, you need a little sweet to balance that. With a good yellow sweet onion, some carrots and some celery, finely chopped, that really releases that natural flavor in it. It's just amazing.
You ready?
Now most people like a big old slice of onion at the end, and I do too.
Carrots?
Yep. Let's do some carrots, a little bit of celery. Now I can already see what's going on here, and I'm loving it. And we just ground some fresh Italian cherry pepper. I'm going to go a little bit more on the pepper into this because you like it peppery, don't you?
I do love pepper. All right, ready? I'm going to chop again. Let me get all that for you. Yummy.
So look what we got going on here. Just look at
Beautiful.
that. Does that not look tasty already?
That's beautiful.
And this is the time of the year, to me, when you want to, when you're going outside, you got lots of work to do. You know, it's cleanup time in the fall, putting your stuff away. You just want to put something out and let it cook, and you smell it cooking.
I want to smell it cooking.
All day long.
Now, when you did this, I smelled it through the night. I woke up. Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's delicious.
So now you see our bacon over here. And I left some fat on that. I know you've seen us do that. That's a 7-day cure right there. I left a little of hide on there just for such purposes. This is our ham hock per se. If you got some ham hock, that's great, but this bacon. See, it's that good fat in there. I took this particular slice and saved it as the fatty portion.
Good idea.
For just such. That adds that
Oh, yeah.
umami pork flavor in there. Oh my goodness. Look what we got, Miss Farm.
I'm excited.
I'll get these started, then I'll start the greens, and maybe we'll take a look back at some stuff we've done over the last 70,000 years.
Good idea.
So one good thing about your beans when they're cooking in the background, and you got that long of a
Right.
process, you can taste them as you go along. Now you can't take anything out, but you can add as you go along.
Exactly.
And that, over that long period of time, gives you the perfect opportunity to say, okay, needs a bit of this, needs
That's
a bit
right.
of that,
That's
need
right.
a little more of this, or a little more of that. You can just add it as you go along. By the time that 10 hours is up, or 12 hours is up, or 8 hours is up, whatever, you're good to go. And if you got a wood stove, set them out and let them percolate.
That's right, all day long.
All right, so now let's get the perfect greens going. This is easy, and this is country, and this is as simple as I can make it and really make it taste good. So we're gonna go with our bacon again.
Want bacon first?
Yeah, let's just cut enough just to get a little grease going in the bottom. We're gonna take about 3 slices.
And how many pieces do you want that in?
And let's cut that into, small bite-sized pieces so they can fry up real good. Oh, the sizzle. Now that's going to sizzle on up. Now we're going to take this sweet onion and we're going to cut it into thin rings. And then we're going to take those rings and cut them in half so you have strips. So if you could just be right here smelling what we're smelling.
Smells pretty good.
I ought to make a candle with that scent.
I think they probably do. I'm sure they do. Bacon,
I would buy it.
bacon and onion candle.
And let's let those saute up there just a little bit and let them get a little bit translucent like. This is the easiest recipe for greens that you'll ever need.
This is healthy. Very healthy.
It is healthy. So I'm doing two things here. I'm letting this fat render down. We're going to leave that in there. That's not a whole lot of fat. I'm releasing those wonderful flavors from those onions and that farm-raised pork. And so all we've got is kale and spinach here. All right, I think I have adequately released enough flavor. You can go ahead and start popping that in here. Now you think, oh, that looks like a whole lot of greens, but boy, that wilts down small.
It does, doesn't it? Be just enough for me.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put a little bit at a time in, just enough moisture to help that wilt a little bit. Now you remember that combination of spices that I made earlier?
I
Goes
do.
really good in greens too.
It's perfect.
And it goes good in green beans, anything green, cabbage. I never measured. I'm going to have to start measuring it. A little bit more apple cider vinegar.
These are disappearing, like you said, as you cook
It
them.
just wilts right on down.
It does.
Now, if you wanted to, you could take just a little bit. Got some chicken broth left too to help that wilt down.
Yummy.
Mrs. Farmer doesn't like a lot of this, but just a few red pepper flakes.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few. You and your red pepper.
I promise.
That way you get to eat it all, right?
See how that just breaks right on down. That's going to be as big a pile as you saw. That's going to be enough for a big heaping helping for
just you.
You and me and Kelly.
Okay. We're going to share.
This should be enough for three of us. You notice I just keep on putting a little bit of
I noticed
apple
that.
cider vinegar. Make sure those are good. In fact, I should let you make sure it's good.
I get to decide?
And don't burn your tongue.
Give me a little one. Little piece. Okay, perfect. It's really good.
Is it really good?
That's really good.
Like
That's
really,
delicious,
really,
yeah.
really good?
I like
Perfect?
it. You're going to take a huge bite, aren't you?
One more seasoning.
Okay. I thought it was good.
But that right there is as basic as it gets. Some people might want to put a little sugar. I'm not. Would you look at that?
Perfect.
Now these have wilted enough, so I'm going to go and put that on a low. We've got cornbread. We've got greens. We've got beans. So look what we've got. Everything I see here reminds me of somebody in our family
Oh, yeah.
in the old days. Mom's chow chow right there, into garden relish. This one's heavy on the red peppers because that's what we had the most of.
That's right.
But Miss Farmer, I would like you to dig in there.
All right, I'm going to get a spoon for that. I got me a fork and a spoon.
Look at that. You don't have to worry about taking these beans and using an immersion blender.
Those are
And we got a little
perfect.
chunk of onion in there.
That's perfect.
Look at these beans. See there?
Wow.
You have some whole beans and you have some that have been cooked.
It's perfect, isn't it? So delicious. The chow chow is good, too. Gives it a little sweet. Yummy. Yummy. Greens.
Nothing like an all-day cook to get those beans just right. A little bit of greens right here with some onion and some of our pig.
The vinegar is so good on that. It has a nice bite to it.
That's how I remember country greens when I was a kid. And when I would go deep in the mountains, and it was just, I know that taste.
Yeah.
Pork, greens, whatever greens they had, collards, turnips, in Appalachia. This is what I got. It was apple cider vinegar, a little bit of salt and pepper.
Delicious. Delish.
And some fresh onion. Cornbread's beautiful.
Always. And get a little butter on there.
I put my cornbread in here, do you
Did
notice?
you? I did.
That's the way I like mine. So
So good, too.
this is, to me, the perfect country meal. It takes a little while to get it done right. But we need a fancy, schmancy, wonderful, sweet holiday dessert.
We do.
Who could we call upon?
I know who does the best desserts. Beth.
Beth, would you make us a Yule log by chance?
Yum.
in Frankfurt with Beth Carter. She's on the corner. You know where she is. You know who she is. You can smell it when you walk by.
Yes.
As we sit here and I look down, I see chocolate, I see eggs, I see pudding, I see all kinds of lovely stuff. But first, I don't know if we've ever gone into your resume. You have the most interesting past. If you will, tell us how you got into this business.
I was older and I went through some life changes and needed to decide what I was going to do with my life as a 40-something-year-old.
That's older?
Well, you know, back in the day, it felt older. But anyway, so I decided with the coaxing of my grandmother to go to culinary school. And I did. I was the only woman in a class full of men. Anyway, I always said with the guys I had to scream louder and kick harder, but I did it and then was offered this incredible opportunity to go to Italy and live for a summer there. And that's what I think opened up all the opportunities that I had after that.
You worked for a racing outfit.
I did, Le Mans Racing, yes. I worked for an incredible caterer. She's a German woman that lives in the States. And so I traveled around with her outfit with the American Series with Le Mans and worked summers in France for her. So it's really cool.
That's kind of cool. Then the Pioneer Lady.
Yes, I got a call from Food Network. They asked actually my culinary school to send them someone who could be the set caterer on the ranch, and that was me. And so I left and did that for a while.
So you have quite the background.
I do have a background.
I know whatever you do today is going to be amazing, and it does involve chocolate.
It does involve chocolate, and it's kind of a scary Christmas dessert for most people, but I'm going to debunk that. I'm going to show you that's not so scary to do what we're going to do today.
And it's called?
Bûche de Noël.
Which means, roughly?
A Christmas log.
A Yule log, per se?
A Yule log.
I like
yes.
that.
So we're going to get started. We're going to make the sponge cake first. So we've pre-measured 3/4 cup of AP flour, third of a cup of cocoa. We're going to dump that into the bowl. Now look at these. Did your grandmother have a set of these?
Yes, we still got some of those.
I only use these. These are the best. So we're going to put in a teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder and baking soda help crisp up and smooth out or help keep intact a cookie or a cake or something that you're baking. We have got a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So those are our dry ingredients. And we're going to add to it 4 large egg yolks. Well, actually, hold on.
Dude, I almost...
You right? We're gonna oops. Sorry about that. We're gonna use another separate bowl and put our wet ingredients in. So there we go. Sorry about that.
No,
we're gonna start with 4 egg yolks.
Notice how I pulled back?
Yes,
I saw
you
the
did
look
good.
on your face. So these in here.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. There we go.
All right.
And we're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of sugar.
All right.
That's how it would be in a real kitchen at home.
I recognize that look. Nikki has the same one, like, no! You didn't say anything, but I saw it in your eyes.
I needed to pull the bowl over, you're right. So we're gonna whisk these two things together, the egg yolks and the sugar. Then we're gonna add in the 1/2 cup of melted butter.
All right. Everything needs butter.
Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna add in pudding and vanilla.
Is it just vanilla pudding?
Mm-hmm. It kind of helps your cake stay moist and sponge-like. We're mixing all this up. And now we're going to add it to our dry ingredients, or add our dry ingredients to this. We're going to reverse this
I'm being
this time.
very careful. I don't want to mess this up.
That was great. We needed a dun dun dun. We're going to whisk this till it's incorporated.
Oh, look at that, the smell.
And the smell. We're now going to beat some egg whites until they form stiff peaks.
And beat them silly.
Right? We're going to take about 1/3 of a cup of these egg whites that we beat until they have stiff peaks. And this
You showed them.
Right, I did. So this helps loosen up the chocolate in the batter. See how that did that? It released it. And then we're going to fold in the rest. So this is our batter. Now we're going to use a half sheet pan, as we call it. Spray really well. And we're going to put a piece of parchment paper on here. I spray the parchment paper too, so that it'll release itself, the batter. Once it's a cake, it will release itself off of the paper. So we're going to spread this out. All right, we try to spread as evenly as we can. This just goes in your
Just like
oven.
that?
350 for 12 minutes.
Can we open the door?
Sure.
I'm good for something.
You are good for something. There you go. And here's what it looks like when it comes out.
Very nice.
Ready to roll. So now we're going to add our Bee's Famous cream. You could use buttercream icing. You could use store-bought icing.
But this is Beth's top secret.
This is top secret cream.
Oh my. So what would you say the thickness on this? Are you going to put all of that in there?
No, not all. Well, we can.
What are you thinking? 3/4 of an inch?
Yeah,
Half
I
an
would
inch?
say that's what makes it. We need it to form a larger log than what the cake does on its own. So the easiest way to do that is let your parchment paper help you, and just kind of hold it up like this, and let it
gravity work?
Let it fall. Yep.
Oh my.
Okay. There we go. So I'm going to grab a new piece of parchment paper. So now we're going to just take, this is chocolate buttercream.
Oh.
So we made our regular buttercream and added cocoa powder to it. And at home, what you probably need to do is put this in the freezer to let it harden up. Yes, our buttercream is so thick, it could actually rip. So you want to put this on, buttercream on, a little more uneven than you normally would, because
it already looks like bark.
Right, it already looks like bark. This fork is what makes all the beautiful ridges in your log. So if you just kind of do like this.
That looks like wood.
It does, doesn't it? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it on our platter and add some decorations. So I pre-made some little gingerbread cookies, like a tree, and a reindeer. And in your case, you'd have to let it go.
No, I wouldn't. I would eat it too.
Right. We decorate these at the bakery here with royal icing or buttercream. And so, like with our trees, we want to maybe put some snow on the branches.
That's cool.
And then we always cover our gingerbread decorations with sugar. You can use greenery from your backyard or the farm to decorate. This is kind of the pretty stuff. And we'll put a few on top. And then you can take your little gingerbread, you can add a little tree and a little deer, maybe do another one. So we want to add some berries. But the final touch is powdered sugar.
A dusting of snow.
That's the snow. So shall we cut it?
All right, look, this, I almost feel bad about destroying the integrity of this beautiful log, but then again, I only had a ham sandwich today.
That's right. So let's do it. You probably want to use a serrated knife.
Oh my.
There you go. Well, I should have done a better cut, but you can see how pretty it is once you cut into it.
Oh wow.
As far as the roll goes.
Oh my.
Good stuff.
Well, we know you're amazing, but we didn't know you're that daggone cool.
Well, hopefully, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And hopefully somebody will try this out there.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Are you feeling the Christmas spirit?
I really am. It's time.
I am too. You know, we're looking forward to a new season. We're going to celebrate 30 years in television this year. We'll show some stuff from way back too.
Good idea.
From that other show we did way back when. You know what? As the season approaches, we think about goodwill towards each other. Let's do that all year long.
Right.
Let's do that all the time. If there's one thing that we can do to make the world a better place, it's simply to be kind to one another.
Right.
From all backgrounds, from wherever you are, let's be kind to one another.
I like that.
It should be easy enough. That being said, Ms. Farmer, our half hour has raced away.
Yes, it has.
We have made the perfect country meal. But if you were shopping in Alaska
Okay.
for reindeer bells,
Yes, I need those.
and somebody came up to you and said, Mrs. Farmer, why are you near the North Pole? And where can I find your recipes? You'd say,
TinFarmersCountryKitchen.com.
and there are gabillions of recipes there.
There are.
If you want to talk to us on some of our social media spots, is it difficult to do that?
It is not.
What do you do?
You hit like.
Wow. So, Mrs. Farmer?
Wait a minute. Do I get my reindeer bells? You sending me to Alaska?
Yes.
Okay, I need those.
Yes,
All right.
we'll
okay.
leave tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
And it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and super really good eats.
Can we say Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
I think we
That's right.
can.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We have been catering for a lot of years, and I wanted everything to have a specific taste. Therefore, I had to come up with my own products.
Right.
A dry rub, chow chow, and our barbecue sauce are something that we use in all our catering gigs. I developed this barbecue sauce that is not the really thick, syrupy stuff that you get. This has more of a natural, it's got some pepper and onion flavor in it. You can actually see the particulates in there. You know, a lot of people are asking what we use our dry rub on. Now, obviously, pork and chicken are two of the more common things. Also, we've been using on our corn on the cob with butter.
That is.
I'm telling you, this
That's
stuff
wonderful.
with potatoes is fantastic. So 40 years in the making, Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Dry Rub.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Emerson Farms Country Store. Something for every member of the family. Ephraim McDowell Medical Center in Danville, Kentucky. Gulf Coast Connection. Seafood straight from the Gulf to you. The Spine Center of Central Kentucky. Wilderness Road Hospitality, Stanford, Kentucky. Visit Frankfort, Kentucky's spirited capital city.